Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to the JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list of the best point guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. We got a lot of point guards on this list, so this is going to be a bit of a long video, so I'm going to try not to waste too much time with the intro. But first, huge shout out to my boy PJ Hoop2Baller. If y'all, some of y'all may know him in the community, especially if y'all are in the comp community, in the Twitter MyTEAM community, all that stuff, y'all may know who he is. But huge shout out to him for making this tier list for me to use, and yeah, appreciate him doing that. Also, if y'all haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 4,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload basically every single day, and would really appreciate it if you would subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's hop right into it. Let's start off with Kemba Walker. We got to pull up 2KDB so we can look at each of these players' stats, and I'm kind of going to do a brief overview of each of these players. Not going to waste a lot of time on each one. The thing about Kemba is he's undersized, he's only 6 foot tall, good speed, good shooter, can't dunk, can't defend. Defensive badges are really mediocre. Everything else is solid, but no Hall of Fame quick first step, no Hoff limitless sniper, anything like that. Jumper is good, movement is good. This is like quicker shifty. He's got great sigs, one of the best sigs of any point guard in my team. Like, he's a super solid offensive point guard, but the fact that he can't dunk, the lack of size, all that hurts the card. I'm going to put him in C tier for now. This tier list is going to take a bit of adjusting because there is a lot of guards, and I have to figure out how to put each player in each list, in each tier and all that, because especially as the year progresses, it becomes harder and harder to rank these guys. But yeah, we're going to put Kemba Walker in C tier for now. AI, I think, goes a bit above Kemba. I'm not sure if he's B or A. The thing about AI is he's only 6 foot. Same thing. Much better than Kemba statistically, can dunk the ball, better defender, better athlete, much better defensive badges, and overall badge with Hoff quick for step, Hoff handles for days, Hoff sniper, Hoff clamps, etc. He's got a really good jump shot similar to Kemba. Sigs wise, solid. Not the greatest sigs in the world, but they're definitely really solid. Again, he has a good full court dribble style. Full court dribble sig with the Braun crossover in between the legs, which is the Pro 2 between the legs, one of the best, if not the best, between the legs in the game. Thing is, with him being so undersized, it's hard to use him because he is a liability on the defensive end of the court, and even offensively, he does struggle at times to be successful just because of his lack of size. So for me, I'm going to put him in the B tier for now. We may wind up moving him up to the A tier, but with so many good point guards in the game, I'm going to put him in the B tier for now. Another guy who I think is probably a B tier guy would be a guy like Kyrie Irving. Another solid PG. Probably one of the better cards in B tier, but again, can't dunk, undersized, is only 6'3". It's not super undersized, it's decent size. Defensively, he's mediocre, not the greatest. Can get good badge, which is good. He's a decent-ish defender. Badge-wise, in terms of shooting and playmaking, he's great. Jumper is mediocre, though. It is Kyrie on quick, but it's not the best jumper in the world. Movement-wise, he, again, has some of the best sigs of any PGs in the game, up there with guys like Kemba Walker. He's a better card than Kemba, better defender than Kemba, but overall, I don't think he is a top point guard in the game, so I'm going to put him in the B tier for now. I'm going to put Magic in the A tier, and mainly Magic is in the A tier because of the fact that he's 6'9", because overall, not the greatest card, but 6'9" at PG is really, really valuable. No three-point hotspots, but he does have solid stats, can shoot, can dunk a bit, solid athletic ability, and a decent defender. Does need a lot of badges like clamps, interceptor, limitless spot up, sniper, things like that, rim protector. There's just a lot of badges on this card that do need to be applied, but he has great playmaking badges. Jump shot is really mediocre. It's slow, not the easiest to green, but he does have fundamental dribble style, and at 6'9", he is still a very valuable card because of how much defensive versatility he gives you on the court, as well as that mashing ability that he gives you that is so important in this year's game. And his size is so valuable, which is why I would put him in the A tier. I think Darius Garland goes in the B tier. He's kind of a Damian Lillard clone to a certain extent. I would say his sigs are better than Dame's, but he's only 6'1". Good outside ability, decent dunker, good shooter, good athletic ability, a decent-ish defender, but again, needs a lot of badges in Amethyst, so I don't recommend badging him out in the first place. Playmaking badges are great. Shooting badges are really solid as well. A lot of key gold ones in both of those areas. Jumper is really good. It's the Dame release on quick, same as Dame's. Sigs wise, he's super solid. Kobe size up, quick dribble style. So Sigs are decent. Like, he overall is a really solid card. I don't think he's elite, but I think he's decent. But you know what? Looking at all these guys, there's a lot of really, really good point guards. So I'm going to put him in the C tier for the time being. I think Jerry West. I don't know about Jerry West. He is 6'5", I believe, which does give him some sort of value for sure, is because he has solid size. Yeah, 6'6". Oh, he's only 6'3". I lied, but he has a good wingspan at 6'9". I know his player build looks pretty tall. Hot spots for most spots outside the 3-point line. 9 Hoffs. Can dunk wide open. Good shooter, good athlete, good defender on the perimeter. Interior defense is horrible, which is a little bit disappointing, but the defense is really solid on the perimeter. Good defensive badges. Shooting badges are really solid. Playmaking badges, same thing. He's pretty complete in all three of those areas. Jumper is good, not great, but definitely solid. Jerry West dribble style is the same as fundamental, which, like I said, third best dribble style behind quick and shifty in the game. So not bad, not elite. I think he probably is a B tier guy, but I don't think he's elite at all. and even B tier might be a bit generous, but there are a lot of guys toward the lower end of this list that I wouldn't say are quite as good, so I will leave him in the B tier for now. Gary Payton is definitely an S tier PG. He's the first S tier PG on this list. The Pink Diamond Gary is great. This Gary Payton is just even better. He comes with 99 offense, 99 defense. He's the first dark matter in the game. 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan, so solid size. Hotspots from everywhere. 20 hops, including some finishing ones. Good shoot, playmaking like quick first step, unpluckable, and then elite defensive badges like clamps, interceptor, intimidator, pick dodger, pickpocket. Incredible defensive stats on the perimeter and really good on the interior. Dunks well, shoots well, great athleticism. He's a great all-around card. I wish his jumper wasn't on normal. It's the same jumper as the PD. Not the fastest jumper in the world, but his SIGs are really good in both the half court and the full court. Everything except for the jumper is elite about this card. He's arguably the best PG in the game, and he definitely deserves to be an S tier. I think Dame is the second A tier PG of the video, probably. Dame is another really solid PG, 6'2" with a 6'7" wingspan, not the greatest size. Hotspots from everywhere outside the three-point line, though. Really good shooting badges as well as playmaking badges. Hop quick first step would be nice, but not necessary. Same thing, needs some badges on defense, and defensive stats are really mediocre, but offensively he's got great speed, shooting, dunking, all those things. Same elite jump shot as Darius Garland. It is his jumper after all. And then SIGs aren't great for a PG, but they're solid. Not a bad dribble style in that it works similar to quick and shifty, so he gets good burst animations. He's a good card, he's not like an incredible over-the-top good card, but he's definitely solid. I think he does deserve to be in the A tier. Tony Parker is terrible. I know he's a Galaxy Opal, but this card stinks. 6'2" with a 6'6" wingspan, so he doesn't have elite size. Badge-wise, he's good, but the thing is, statistically, he can't dunk the ball. Defense is mediocre, not great. Really low interior and block. Shooting is solid. Good athleticism, but the problem is, slasher dribble style is terrible. He's undersized, like I said, so he doesn't have a good dribble style. Not good size. Size up is okay, but not great. Shooting, again, it's a little bit of a slower jumper, not the greatest jumper in the world, but it definitely is smooth and really easy to green. So I wouldn't say it's like slow, not the worst jumper in the world. I just don't think this card is an elite option at this point. But slasher dribble style and undersized point guard is just so gross, especially when you can't dunk the ball. And because Tony is missing all those things, I think he's a D tier guy. Steve Nash, probably similarly. You could make an argument Steve Nash is probably a C tier, and I might end up putting him up to the C tier, but 6'3" with 6'6" wingspan, so he has decent size. 10 hotspots from most places on the court. Good shooting and finish and playmaking badges. Defensive badges are okay. Defensive stats are good, decent on the perimeter, but on the interior, they're terrible. Can't dunk again. Another card, Steve Nash dribble style. This dribble style is the same as fundamental, which again, not the greatest dribble style in the world. You'd like to see that be quicker, shifty if possible, but it is okay. It's better than the slasher. Jumper is good, easy to green, smooth, quick. Definitely a solid jumper. Pro 5 behind the back in the full court is nice. He's better than Tony Parker. I will move him up to the B tier. I'm sorry, C tier, but I don't think he's a great card whatsoever. Baron Davis, I think, is maybe the best PG in B tier so far. In fact, I would say he is the best PG in B tier, and I'm actually going to move Jerry West down. But Baron Davis, the thing about him is great stats, 94 speed, 92 shot 3, 95 driving dunk, really good defensive stats, a decent block rating, great defensive badges, playmaking badges, shooting, all that stuff. Everything about this card is really solid. The problem is the base dribble style. That kills a card, especially a guy who's only 6'3". And yeah, just not the greatest card in the world because of that. He's like Damian Lillard in certain ways. I'd say he's better than Damian Lillard, or close to as good as, I don't know. Him and Dame are very similar. Like, you could make an argument. I'd probably take Dame over him because Dame has better movement. Base dribble style is just so bad, and that holds him back, and is why I'm going to put him in the B tier. But yeah, not a great card whatsoever. I'm not super high on Baron Davis as a lock-in guy at all. De'Aaron Fox, on the other hand, is a guy I'm very high on. I'm sorry, I said De'Aaron Fox. LaMelo Ball. De'Aaron Fox is the next card up. But LaMelo is a card I'm very high on. I think you could make an argument he's the best PG in the game. 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. So he's got really good size at PG. That's the first thing. 4 out of 5 hotspots, 10 Hall of Fames, including really good pops like catch and shoot, sniper, bullet passer, dimer, hyperdrive, interceptor. Really good defensive stats on the perimeter and decent on the interior as well. Good dunker, great shooter, really good athlete. The biggest thing that holds this card back, similarly to some of these other guys, is the fact that he does have the slasher dribble style, but the thing is his jumper is really quick and really easy to green, even on normal, and he has good SIGs. The thing is, the slasher dribble style hurts the card. That really, if he had quick or shifty, he would be by a mile the best point guard in the game, but even without it, he does so much well on both ends of the court and has elite size that I think he still is an S tier PG for me. De'Aaron Fox, is he A tier? At this point, I'm not sure that De'Aaron Fox is an A-tier point guard. I'm looking at the guys in this list, and I'm just not sure. I think I'm gonna go B tier for now. We'll see if we consider moving him up to A tier. De'Aaron is 6'3", but he has a really small player build. That's a problem with this card for sure, is the fact that his player build is definitely undersized, so he doesn't look 6'3". 3 out of 5 hotspots, 4 Hall of Fames, which include quick first step and downhill. Good defensive stats in the perimeter, not great on the interior. Can dunk, can shoot, has great athleticism though. Defensive batters are okay. Paul George release on normal. It's not the fastest release in the world, but it's really smooth and really easy to green. Quick dribble style is great. Sigs in the half court are good. Sigs in the full court are good with the profile behind the back. This is a great card. Really fun card to use, but I don't think he's an elite card at this point in the game. Just especially with him being undersized and not having a great player build, I think he probably is a B tier guy. Steph, I think, is A tier because of how elite his movement is and how elite of a shooter he is. Defensively, again, not the greatest PG in the world, and he is undersized with only a 6'3" wingspan. But defensive stats aren't terrible, especially on the perimeter. They're good. Defensive badges, again, not terrible. Quick channel off as well as elite Hall of Fame shooting badges is amazing. One of the best, if not the best shooters in the game. I think he probably is the best. He's got really good speed as well. And can dunk open, which is nice. 70 driving dunk is good. Good safe dunks. Elite release. Sigs are incredible. He's the only card in the game with the Curry slide, or the only player in the game with the Curry slide, which is just an extra added boost that he has that most cards aren't going to give you. And overall, his movement on offense is what makes him an A tier guy, and I think he definitely does deserve that spot in the A tier. Another guy who is an A tier PG is Bob Sura. I think Bob Sura, you could even make an argument, is borderline S tier. And I personally am not going to make that argument because there are some better options in my personal opinion. But Bob Sura is a great card. 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. Hotspots from 4 out of 5 spots. 6 Hall of Fame badges, which include catch and shoot, quick first step, downhill, pogo stick, 91 speed and excel, 88 shot 3, 95 driving dunk. Really good defensive stats, or solid on the perimeter. Decent ace in the interior as well, not bad. Defensive badges are solid. All around badge wise, he's pretty solid. Jump shot 38 on normal. It's not the fastest jumper in the world, but again, really smooth, really easy to green. If it was on quick, it'd be one of the best jumpers in the game, but even on normal, it's definitely solid. Shifty dribble style is great. Movement is decent, not the greatest movement in the world, but Hall of Fame quick first step does help, and he has a good dribble style. Like I said, he's an A tier PG. He's the best A tier PG, and I think you could even make an argument that he's an S tier PG. But me personally, that is not an argument that I'm going to make. Trae Young, his jumper is great, but besides the jumper, he is just very mediocre. This Trae Young specifically at 6'1" with a 6'3" wingspan, very undersized, but the thing is, he does have really good perimeter defensive stats. Good defensive badges as well, which is nice. Interior wise, still not great. And playmaking badges needs this quick first step upgrade. Shooting badges are really good. 94 shot 3, but can't dunk. Again, another card with slasher dribble style as well. Not being able to dunk and having slasher dribble style hurts the card a lot. Because he has an elite release and still has good movement sigs besides slasher, I still think he is better than a guy like Tony Parker. So I am going to put him in the C tier, but I think there's an argument to be made that he's in the D tier, and he's not a card that I'm high on, is what I will say. Gary Payton, I think, again, I'm going to put into the A tier. I think I may wind up actually having to move somebody up to S tier at some point. But he's the dark matter Gary, but he's not as good. I mean, that makes logical sense. He's a pink diamond, not a dark matter. But they're similar. Obviously it's the same player, but shooting wise, doesn't get limitless spot up. Defensive badges are elite, but doesn't have the interceptor like the other Gary Payton does. Not as good of an interior defender, not as good of a slasher, not as good of a shooter, not quite as athletic either. Jump shot is the same. It's not the greatest jumper in the world, and sigs are really good, which is nice, but he's just not an elite card in my team right now. I don't feel like at this point in the game, he was a phenomenal unlimited reward, one of the best unlimited rewards we've ever gotten in my team, but at this point, I don't think he quite does enough to be an S tier PG. Now, Tim Hardaway is a card that I don't honestly know where he slots in. I'll be completely honest. He's not a card I've looked at their stats or used. He is only 6 foot tall, 3 out of 5 hotspots, 96 speed and excel is great, but can't dunk. Really bad interior defense, so that does hurt the card. Playmaking badges are really good, but defensive badges are solid, not elite. Same thing with shooting badges, again, solid, not elite. Jump shot 40 on normal is the same release as those guys like Gary Payton have. So he's kind of Gary Payton, but not as good of a defender, and can't dunk the ball. And those two things really hurt the card. So I don't think he is an A tier guy. I wouldn't even say he's a B tier guy. I think he's probably C tier, just because he's like Gary Payton, but much worse at pretty much everything. So that definitely holds the card back and prevents him from being a really good option in my team. And I am going to move Trae Young actually down because of his lack of size and his lack of dribble style. So Steve Francis, really good card, or at least he was a really good card when he came out. His movement is elite. He's got one of the best dribble packages in the game in general. Jumper is a little bit slow for a PG, which doesn't help. 96 driving dunk, though, is elite. Good shooter, good athlete, solid defender. Defensive badges does need some badges added like clamps, interceptor, intimidator. Playmaking badges are good. He comes with all the key ones on gold, but not a lot of hoffs. Same thing with shooting badges, comes with most of the key ones on gold, but can't get limitless, which does hurt the card. And because of that inability to get limitless, as well as the fact that he doesn't have elite size and his jumper isn't great, I think he he probably does deserve to be somewhere in the C tier instead of in the B tier or higher. John Morant, yet another A tier PG. If he was taller, he'd be S tier, but because he is only what, like 6'2", 6'3", I think he is A tier. All five hotspots outside the 3-point line is great. 15 hoffs, really good slasher, shooter, athlete, defender, really great all in a card. Hall of Fame clamps, quick first step, sniper, limitless spot up, catch and shoot. He is a great card. SIGs are phenomenal. Definitely really good SIGs, really good jump shot. I think he's the best true small PG in the game currently, and I think you could make an argument that he's S tier. He's the only point guard right now I'd probably be making that argument for who's under the height of 6'4", except for maybe one other guy. And yeah, definitely a great card. I'm gonna leave him an A tier for now, but I do think John Morant is a great option. Mark Price is another one of those PGs who can't dunk the ball, and that really hurts a card when he can't dunk. 6 foot with 6'3" wingspan as well, is really small. Terrible interior ability on both the offensive and defensive ends of the court, but he can shoot, he's fast, and he can defend just a little bit. Badge wise, solid, really good shooting badges. Again, thing about him is, and the jumper's good too, SIGs are good too, it's just the biggest thing about him is that he is so undersized and can't defend on the interior or dunk the ball, and those two things are very crucial in this year's game. And for that reason, I'm going to put him in the ED tier because he's going to be a liability attacking the rim and both defensively, especially on the interior against bigger guards. Penny Hardaway is another one of those S tier PGs in my opinion. I think he is a top PG in my team still. I think I might make the argument he's number 2 or number 3. 6'7" with 6'10" wingspan is incredible. One hotspot from outside the 3-point line. Stats and badge wise, he's not nuts. Like defensive badges, he's missing some things. Doesn't get clamps, doesn't get limitless. Playmaking badges are admittedly really good, but defensive stats are mediocre, even though he does have solid interior for a PG. 85 driving dunk is good. 83 shot 3 isn't bad, especially with how easy shooting is this year. And 89 speed and excel speed of the ball is really solid. Thing about him is, again, 6'7", has good dribble 6, quick dribble style, good size up. Jumper is slow, but it's really easy to green. Profile behind the back as well. So he's got full court and half court SIGs, which is nice. In addition to being 6'7", his movement is some of the best of any PG in the game for that reason. I would put him in the S tier. I'm actually going to move Dame down to B tier as well because I don't think he is worth staying in A tier like with the rest of these guys. But I think John Wall is worth staying in A tier because of the fact that he is a really solid defender. An overall solid card, 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan and a big player build. Hotspots from 4 out of 5 spots, 6 hoffs, which include acrobat, fearless finisher, sniper, stop and pop, dimer, and quick first step. Needs his limitless upgraded. Badge wise though, besides that, really solid. Could use some interior badges maybe. Defensive stats are really good on the perimeter. On the interior, they're very mediocre. Great dunker though, great athlete with 96 speed, excellent speed with ball, and a 90 shot 3 as well. Jumper is really good, but he's another one of those guys with base dribble style. And base dribble style hurts a card a lot. It really prevents him from being that next level of PG. With great SIGs, he might be up there for some of the best PGs in the game with that shoot, being in that S tier potentially. But for me personally, I don't think I could put him there simply because of the fact that he has that base dribble style. But because of how good of a card he is in every other area, as well as the fact that he has solid size, I will still put him in the A tier. Isaiah Thomas was a great card when he first came out, but he is so outdated at this point with only 4 Hall of Fame badges, which include limitless takeoff, post riser, dimer, floor general, in addition to being only 6'1", not having long arms. He has a good dunker attack in the rim, which is nice, but his interior defense is super mediocre. Not an elite jumper either. His jumper's a bit slow, which is a little bit unfortunate, but his SIGs are solid, I will say that, which does help the card. He's a good dunker. Not a bad card. It's just not a great card at this point. It's very undersized as well. I think he does deserve to probably be in the C tier, not the D tier. I'm probably gassing a little bit to put him in the D tier, but not a card that I'm super high on at this point. Russ, I think, is D tier. And Russ isn't like completely awful, but he's definitely not an elite card at this point in the game. 6'3" with a 6'7" wingspan is mediocre size. 9 hoffs, including some good shooting ones like catch and shoot, deadeye, and sniper. Hall of Fame quick first step and dimer as well. Good defensive stats, or okay defensive stats on the perimeter. Defensively in the interior, they're really mediocre. Defensive badges are bad as well. A lot of silvers and bronzes that you'd like to see on gold. 90 driving dunk is elite. 92 shot 3 is really good. Great athleticism with 96 speed, suited ball acceleration, similar to a guy like John Wall. But the jumper isn't good. It's slow, bit baited. Dribble style isn't good either. It's similar to slasher and base in that it doesn't really help you create. Bad jumper, bad dribble style, no interior defense, and missing defensive badges on good like gold tiers like gold and Hall of Fame does hold the card back a lot, and that is why I would put him in the D tier. I think another guy who deserves to be in the D tier, and I think you could even make the F tier, make an argument for the F tier, would be Jason Kidd. The reason I'm not going to put Jason Kidd in the F tier is because of the fact that he is a really solid defender at 6'4" with a 6'8" wingspan, good player build, really good defensive stats in the perimeter. Thing is, on the interior, interior, not a good block rating, can't dunk the ball at all. And movement-wise, he has Jason Kidd dribble style, which is the same as slasher and or base. And yeah, jumper is really bad as well. So a guy who really can't create his own shot at offense at all, has a bad jump shot, and can't guard in the interior. Really, really limited, despite the fact that he is a really good perimeter defender, because that's about the only thing that he does well at this point in the game. Nate Archibald, I think, probably deserves to go in the C tier. Another one of those really undersized PGs, only like, what, 6 foot, 6'1", only one hotspot as well, 5 hoffs, but he does have an 82 shot 3, can't dunk, bad interior defense as well. Hall of Fame quick first step downhill floor journal is good, and his SIGs are good. PG release as well, quick dribble style, size up is solid, dribble SIGs in general are definitely solid, but needs shooting badges, needs defensive badges. I don't think it's worth adding all those badges to this card. He's super limited. Even C tier is a bit generous for him, despite the fact that he does have a good dribble style. I think Caruso is a B tier guy simply because he has Hall of Fame Hall of Fame interceptor, which is a huge defensive badge and decent size. 4 out of 5 hotspots front to the 3-point line. 1 Hoff, which is interceptor, like I said, as well as really good playmaking and defensive badge outside of that. Does not get limitless spot up, which hurts a bit, but he is still a solid card. Really good defender. Beats dudes up on the perimeter, which is super, super nice. And on the interior, he's not the worst either. 81 block for a point guard is really solid. 85 driving dunk, 85 shot 3, 88 speed, excellent speed with ball. He's not going to be going to get you a bucket, but he can dunk the ball in transition, and he is an elite defender. So for that reason, I will still put him in the B tier, despite the fact that he may be just a bit outdated at this point. Now, Eric Bledsoe, I'll be honest, this is a card I literally have not looked at yet since he came out last week, so I don't know how good this card is. 6'1" with a 6'7" wingspan, so he's short, but he does have a good wingspan. 3 out of 5 hotspots, 43 gold badges, no hoffs, but a lot of good gold badges, including defensive playmaking and shooting badges. 94 speed, excel, speed of ball is really good. 95 driving dunk is really good. 86 shot 3 is really good. Perimeter defense is really good. Interior defense is solid, but the block rating being so low does hurt him a bit. Jumper is really good, though. 32 is nice. Same release as Rondo, Ariza, Nick Anderson, Jalen Rose, guys like that. But power dribble style sucks, especially at only 6'1". So he is very, very limited because he can't create, and he's undersized defensively with bad interior defensive ability. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in D tier because he's bad on one side of the court and he can't create his own shot much at all. Speaking of guys whose stats I haven't looked at, Jose Calderon is another great example of that. 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan is nice. 3 out of 5 hotspots. Only 32 gold total badges, though, so he's super limited badge wise, which hurts. Interior is terrible. Can't dunk the ball. Dribble style shifty is nice, but jump shot 40 again is not great. This is another card that just has too many flaws to be any higher than B tier, with him being as undersized as he is, in addition to just not being a good slasher or shooter or badge wise being great or defensively. Just overall, a guy who I think is missing a good amount and probably does deserve to be in the D tier. As the next card on this list, we have Jalen Noel, who yet again for the 3rd card in a row is a guy who I didn't really know we had. I knew we had him, but I didn't know he was good or if he's good. 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan, though, is nice. 4 out of 5 hotspots. Only 28 total badges, which does hurt the card, or I should say 30 total badges. Needs a lot of defensive badges, and as a Ruby, it's not worth it. Defensive stats are terrible. At least he can dunk. He's got okay-ish speed, and 90 shot 3 is good. Jumper is good. SIGs are solid, but no defense at all. And the fact that his defensive badges are so bad as well, he's going to be a liability on that end of the court, and for that reason, I really can't justify putting him much higher than D tier. I guess I'll put him at the end of the C because he has decent height and can dunk and can shoot, and his movement is decent. But overall, another one of those guys who are really mediocre cards at this point in the game. Eric Snow is yet another example of a really mediocre PG option. 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan, which is okay size. Hotspots are everywhere outside the 3-point line. Really good shooting badges in terms of gold badges. Same thing with playmaking and defensive, which is nice. Really good defender on the perimeter again, but bad on the interior. Can't dunk the ball, and also has fundamental dribble style, which is better than a slasher, a base, or a power, but still not a good dribble style at all. Jumper is really smooth and solid. Same jumper as guys like Mark Price, Rafe LaFrance, Jalen Brunson, Gordon Hayward. So it's definitely a smooth, easy to grand release, but his movement isn't elite. His size is definitely far from elite, and overall, I think even putting him in this, I put him in the D tier. No, I think that's pretty reasonable actually, would be to put him in the D tier. Gabe Vincent, for like the 5th card in a row. I don't really know much about this card. I know we got him a while ago, but he's 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan, hotspots from all 5 spots, 29 total badge, which again is not very much. Not the fastest, not the best dunker, not the best defender, especially on the interior. He's rough. 116 is okay. Again, not a great release. Down way to Steve Francis. Base is a little bit slow and a little bit baited. Movement-wise, another good card with quick and Pippen Pro 3 behind the back, so that is nice. But the movement, I think, is the biggest thing that he has going for him. Outside of that, he's a very mediocre card without a lot of badges, so I think he is yet another D-tier guy. Sean Livingston, The fact that he is 6'7" is really the only card, the reason that this card has any value, because statistically, really mediocre, really slow, not a good dunker. Defensive badges are terrible. Shooting badges, same thing. I mean, they're okay, I guess, but he's missing catch. He's missing limitless spot up. He's missing sniper. He's missing blinders. He's missing chef. This card is missing a ton. Because he is 6'7", I think it may be arguable that he's not F tier, but jump shot 27 is another, just like, I don't even know how good that jump shot is, but slasher dribble style as well. This card does nothing except for being tall, and I think he does everything so poorly with how slow he is that I'm actually going to put him in the F tier and make him the first F tier card of today's video. Steve Kerr, not Steve Nash. Is another just like not good card. Put simply, 6'3" with a 6'3" wingspan. So I'm sorry, 6'6" wingspan. So decent-ish size. Hot spots from everywhere, but only one Hall of Fame badge, which is acrobat. No, well, actually he can dunk. At Evo, he's got an 85 driving dunk, which is nice. But he's slow, a bad defender, not good defensive badges. Jump shot 4, I guess is fine. It's not bad. But slasher dribble style is bad, and he's not elite size. This is another really bad card. I'm actually going to go back-to-back F tiers for these two guys. Devin Harris is a guy who I made a video on a while ago, but that was a while ago, and even then he wasn't elite, so especially now I don't expect him to be very good. 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan, 35 total badges, which include quick first step, unpluckable, slithery, and downhill. Decent interior defense, and not the worst interior compared to some of the guys we've seen on this list, but still pretty bad. 30 driving dunk is gross. Defensive badges are mediocre at best. He does have elite speed, excel in speed with ball, and a solid jumper with good jump shot rating. Jump shot 26 is decent, same as guys like Ibaka and Kevin Martin. Fundamental dribble style, pipping behind the back, again better than quick and shifty, or I'm sorry, not as good as quick and shifty, but it is better than things like power, slasher, base, things like that. So that does help him out just a bit, and I think that the only reason he stays out of D tier is because of the fact that he does have okay size as well as in a mediocre-ish dribble style, but still not a card that I'm high on whatsoever. Paul Arizen is like I mean, we're getting a lot of low tier cards at this point in the game. Arizen is one of the better of the low tier guys, but again, not a great card. Needs a lot of badges. 87 speed and excel, 88 shot 3, 95 driving dunk is really good. Defensive stats on the perimeter are solid. On the interior, not great, but he needs a ton of badges like clamps, interceptor, quick first step, quick chain, limitless spot up, sniper, etc. Ball stripper. Like, there's a lot of badges this card needs, and you're not gonna be able to badge him up fully, and I don't recommend badging him up fully anyway. Jumper is good. 95 on clay with clay upper on quick is very smooth, quick and easy to green, which does help the card out. And shifty dribble style is nice. Quay behind the back is nice. 6'4" is nice. He just needs so many badges that it's hard to put him any higher than somewhere in the C tier, despite the fact that he did have potential as a card. Corey Joseph, who I know we got last week in the Idols drop, I'm not entirely sure how good he is. He has one Hall of Fame badge, which is quick for steps, so that's great. Defensive stats on the interior are terrible, can't dunk, but on the perimeter, they're not the worst. 86 shot 3 is good. 90 speed, excel speed with ball is not the greatest, but it's not terrible. He does have decent-ish badges. Jump shot 69, which is the same base as guys like Jacob Dudley, which may not be the greatest card in the world, but not the worst. Fundamental dribble style, though, again, is just not great. He doesn't have good size. At the Ruby spot, he is yet another D tier guy. Josh Giddey, on the other hand, I think is a B tier guy. I think if he could get a couple more offensive playmaking badges, he would be a B tier guy. I'm sorry, an A tier guy, because he is 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, and he does have good sigs in that he has shifty. Jason Kidd released on quick is much better than it is on normal, which does help the card out, as well as that his jumper is actually not bad. Good dunker, good shooter, decent defender, not the greatest defender, but not the worst. Thing about him, again, is badge-wise, he needs a lot. He needs clamps, he needs pick dodger, he needs pogo stick, he can't get quick first step at all, he can't get limitless spot up, can't get sniper. And I know they didn't want to drop an OP short point guard for free, but he's missing so many key badges that it makes it hard to put him any higher than that, despite the fact of how tall he is. Good sigs as well, which is nice, especially for a tall PG, so that is good. But because of how it is just not the greatest card and his movement isn't good, I am going to still put him in B tier, despite the fact that he is not a bad card at all. Avery Bradley is B tier. I'm going to go B tier for Avery Bradley. I think he deserves that. He is a really good defender. Very similar to a guy like Gary Payton. 6'3" with a 6'7" wingspan, which is very similar size as well. 2 Hoffs, which are pickpocket and clamps. Defensive stats are elite on the perimeter and really solid in the interior. 70 driving dunk, 87 shot 3, 89 speed, excel, speed with ball. 86 field ball. Decent playmaking badges. Okay shooting badges. No limitless or sniper, though. I don't recommend badging out an amethyst either. Jump shot 40 is the same base as Gary Payton. He's just Gary Payton, the pink diamond, except slightly worse. Not quite as many Hall of Fame badges, things like that. I think he does deserve to be in the B tier because this Gary Payton is in the A tier, but not the greatest PG or worst PG at all for a guy like Avery Bradley. Brandon Jennings is god awful. Like, this card is horrendous. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised how bad he is. 2K made this card horrendous. 65 speed and 95 speed and excel, 95 speed of ball. Not the best dunker though. Really bad defender. Not a great shooter. Although an okay shooter. He has good shooting and playmaking badges, but needs a bunch of defensive badges, and they're not worth applying to him whatsoever. Big dribble style is atrocious as well. Worst dribble style in the game. Jumper is okay, so that's good. But besides that, he's got a good jumper, and that's about all he has going for him, to be completely honest. And none of those things are going to save him from being in that F tier, in my personal opinion. At the C tier? Yeah, I don't know, dude. This is tough. Do I go C tier or B tier for a Dion Waiters type of guy? I think I'll go B tier or C tier because I did put guys like Darius Garland in C tier, who I think are very comparable and maybe even better to a guy like Dion Waiters. 6'3" with a 6'9" wingspan is really good length and okay height. 2 out of 5 hotspots, 1 Hoff, which is fast twitch, good shooting, playmaking, and okay defensive badges, but he's missing a clamps and interceptor again. A limitless spot up, a sniper. Some crucial badges missing. Really low block rating. He is a good dunker, shooter, and a solid athlete, which is nice and does help the card. But again, similar to Steve Francis, not the fastest jumper in the world. Shifty dribble style is really good, but overall, I just think he's a bit limited. Not the greatest card whatsoever, and for that reason, I decided to put him in the C tier, despite the fact that he definitely is a decent-ish card. Yet another guy. Actually, I think we'll go Marcus Smart in the B tier because of how good he is defensively and the fact that his movement is good. Definitely do recommend if you pick him up that you get one with a ball handle shoe on him to help him be able to speed boost. But 6'3" with a 6'8" wingspan, a good player build, defends well, glitched ability of shooting, so becomes pretty complete in shooting badges. Playmaking badges aren't bad either. And defensive badges are really solid. Great interior and perimeter defense. Little low block, but besides that, really good. 80 driving dunk, 90 shot 3, 89 speed excel, 87 speed of ball, which is really, really good as well. Jump shot is super smooth, quick, and easy to green, which does help him out, as well as the quick dribble style. So overall, if you get this card where he can effectively handle the ball and can have that ball handling boost, I think that if you add handles phase to him, he is still one of the best budget peaches in the game. For that reason, I put him in the B tier. Hal Greer is yet another really bad point guard option. Can't really dunk it with a 50 driving dunk. He might dunk wide open, but that's about it. Not the greatest athlete at only 88 speed of ball and only 6'2" tall. Good shooter though, solid-ish defender, but not on the interior. Badge-wise, they're not great, but blinders, catch and shoot are good, as well as mismatch expert, so that is nice. Jump shot 22 with Kobe upper is really smooth, quick, and easy to green, which is nice. But base dribble style sucks, especially on undersized PG, and for that reason, I think he is an F tier guy, just because of how bad he really is at times in this game. Did I not put him in F tier? I think I put him in D tier. I'm gonna slide him down to F tier because he sucks. Colin Sexton is yet another B tier guy. A guy who did go very overlooked at the beginning of season 3. And I'm not gonna say he's a bad card, but Colin Sexton, here we go. 6'1" with a 6'7" wingspan, so he is undersized but has long arms. 3 out of 5 hotspots, 5 hoffs, which is some good finishing ones. His downhill quick first step. Handles for days can only be upgraded to silver, which hurts. Badge wise, no interceptor, no intimidator, no rebound chaser, no rim protector, etc., which hurts a bit as well. Good limitless spot up though. Can't get blinders or chef, which hurt. But badge wise, stat wise, he's not bad. A quick dribble style as well is really good. He's just not the most elite of PGs, so I think he is another B tier guy for me. CJ McCollum. I'm not sure about CJ McCollum. I don't know where he slots in on a team like this. I'm sorry, on a list like this. If I could type in his name, that would be nice. Here we go. 6'3" with 6'6", which is good for a point guard. 5 hotspots from outside the 3-point line. 5 hoffs, which are catch and shoot, dead eye, difficult shots, hots 100, and rhythm shooter. Shooting badges can all be upgraded except for limitless spot up. Playmaking badges are great. Does need clamps, interceptor, rim protector, menace, things like that if he wants to compete better at the defensive end of the court, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And yeah, really good interior defense, which is great, which is nice, but his rating is not great at all. Not the best of dunkers either, which does hurt a bit. And overall, I just don't think he's an elite card, so for that reason, I am not going to put him any higher than B tier, and I think even B tier could make an argument is a bit high. Hersey Hawkins, I have not used this card at all, but I have heard some truly horrible things with him, that he is like one of the best centers in the game. So we're going to give it a shot and see what we think of Hersey Hawkins. 94 offense, 88 defense, 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan, 4 out of 5 hotspots. Comes with a 88 speed and excel, a 92 shot 3. Not the best dunker, but he may be able to dunk wide open. Defense is great. And badge-wise, really solid on the shooting, playmaking, and defense, which is definitely nice. Finishing as well. So he is a really solid card. Not the greatest card in the world, but definitely a really solid card. The problem with him is the jump shot is 39, which I don't think is very, actually it's not the worst. It's Oubre and Franz Wagner, but it's not the best either at all. And base dribble style hurts him as well, especially trying to play him at the PG position. So even B tier, D tier, I mean, might be a bit of a blessing in disguise for you personally. At the C tier, we have Patrick Mills. I'm not sure if it's going to come up as Patty or Patrick Mills, and I think it is going to come up Patrick. So 6'1" with 6 foot with a 6'2" wingspan, so you can basically shoot over him. 5 hotspots, 5 Hall of Fames, which are blinders, catch and shoot, mismatch, expert, 93 speed and excel, 94 shot 3. Really can't dunk the ball at all. Defensive stats. I'm sorry, defensively he's not elite either. Overall, I think he's elite. I think definitely not the worst card in the world, but offensively he's elite in terms of his 3-hunting ability. Besides that, needs a lot of bad, is not a good defender, he's going to get picked on, so for that reason I think he deserves to be in the C tier. That seems reasonable. Okay, Byron Scott, I have no clue. I'm just going to drop him and then we'll come back to him and make a judgment once we see the card, because I really do not know who they could be dropping. Who was I supposed to be looking up? Oh, Byron Scott, yes, of course. Byron. I can't type. Byron. Holy cow. Byron Scott, here we go. 23 or 23 Hoff, 6'3" with a 6'7" wingspan, 4 out of 5 hotspots, 6 Hall of Fames, which include catch and shoot, corner specialist, rhythm shooter, slippery off-ball, volume shooter, and off-ball pass. Really good interior defense. Doesn't go up the block super easily either. 60 driving dunk is great. 80 driving dunk is awesome. And 92 shot 3 is really good with 89 speed and excel, especially with Howlin' on the moves, is not bad. I did put a shoe on him, but even without it, he still moves pretty solid, especially for a card like that has slasher. Jump shot 22 with Rudy Gay upper is a great jump shot. No doubt about that at all. Quick dribble style is also really good behind the back. This card is really good. I think he does deserve to be in the B tier and toward the top of B tier because of how good his team looks. And I think he's definitely got a solid squad built for sure over there. Jamal Crawford is another A tier point guard, I think. I'm not sure he's S tier. I definitely would actually say he's probably not S tier, but we're going to give it a shot nonetheless and see if we can get Jamal Crawford. And Jamal Crawford, he's solid. 96 offense, 85 defense, 6'5" with 6'8" wingspan, which is nice. But 91 speed excel is good. 88 shot 3 is good. 75 driving dunk is good. 85 perimeter, 84 lateral quickness, 82 steal, so that's not bad. 70 block as well isn't the worst. Playmaking badge wise, definitely not the best choice whatsoever. I'm sorry, definitely not the worst choice whatsoever. And yeah, overall, I think this has definitely been a pretty good day, and I think that Jamal Crawford probably does deserve to be somewhere toward the top of B tier in my personal opinion. Larry Hughes is another S tier PG, the 4th S tier PG that I'm going to put you on to today, or I'm going to try to put you on to anyway. I started to type in Lugs, but anyways, okay, come on. Can we click on the right guy, please? Here we go. 6'5" and 6'8" wingspan at PG is elite. Defensive badges are elite with ankle breaker, ball stripper, clamps, interceptor, menace, and pickpocket. Playmaking badges are really good. Defensive badges are really good. Like I said, shooting badges are solid, but needs a little spot and sniper. But badge wise and stat wise, he is great. Besides that, shooting, it's 84 shot 3 as well is really nice. 89 speed and excel, 75 speed with dunk, 88 speed with ball. 84 jump shot, which is the same jumper as guys like Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickly, and people like that have. So definitely not a bad jumper whatsoever. Shifty dribble style is great. Not going to be the best shot creator in the world, but he can shot create a bit, which is nice. And actually, he probably will shot create more than I think, because he would be playing my starting point guard position or off my bench at PG. And I think Francis is a great card with enough size, defense, and offensive ability to be one of, if not the best PGs in the game. Oscar Robertson came out just so long ago at this point that I would be shocked if I wind up putting him over. If you wind up seeing me put him over, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Oscar Robertson, 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, 3 out of 5 hotspots, 5 hostage, include acrobat, fearless finisher, slithery finisher, dimer, and floor general. Needs that handles for days upgraded. Doesn't get limitless spot up, but can't get sniper. Same thing defensively, can't get clamps or interceptor or intimidator or menace, which are 4 of the most important ones in the game. So that hurts. Really good perimeter defensive ability, a decent dunker as well. Decent speed steal, 87 speed, excel speed with ball isn't bad, and an 85 shot 3 as well is not bad. Thing about him is the fact that he's got base dribble style, Oscar release on normal, which is a bit, just a little bit alcoholic, I would say. And yeah, overall, I think he's a really good card. I think that Oscar Robertson, really good card is pushing it. I think he's okay, but at this point, I would not be using him in this year, especially. Ricky Rubio. He has been balling, or he was balling before he got hurt with the Cavs. Very unfortunate to see him go down with an injury. But 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan is elite. 3 out of 5 hotspots is elite. 6 Hall of Fames, including blinders, catch and shoot, chef, mismatch, extra bullet, passer, and floor general, are also really good. Playmaking badges are elite. Shooting badges are really good besides sniper. Defensive badges are mediocre, not great, but not bad. And same with the finishing badges. And the 94 speed, excel, can't dunk, but 94 steal ball, can shoot, and really good defense on the perimeter, while again being terrible on the interior. So because of how bad of an interior defender is, I am still going to put him wherever I put him, which would probably be in the D tier. I think that makes sense, honestly, because he's just not the best card at this point in the game. Dave Bing is another just not a very good card. That's the easiest way to put it. 6'3" with 6'6" wingspan. He's got okay size, 2 hotspots, but not a ton of total badges at all. Although they could be worse. But 94 speed excel, 98 shot IQ, 86 shot 3, dunk wide open, but that's about it. Has no interior. Defensive badges are mainly silver. Bronze handles for days. Doesn't come with limitless spot up. Doesn't come with chase down or intimidator or menace or post lockdown, etc. So there's a lot of things this card is missing, and for that reason, I think putting him in the D tier is very reasonable. Now, Kevin Johnson, I'm going to probably put in C simply because of how elite of a slasher he really is, but I still wouldn't say he's definitely a card that I would consider running at all at this point in the year. 6'1" with 6'4" wingspan is really small, but he does have limitless takeoff and posterizer Hall of Fame, dimer, downhill floor general, quick first step as well. Really good defender on the perimeter, but again, not the best on the interior. 95 gravity dunk, 85 shot 3, and then a 95 speed excel, and speed with ball, which is really, really good as well. So, yeah, I think this is pretty much, you got 2 more guys. Wade is a S tier PG. I don't think there's any doubting that. Wade is still one of the best PGs in the game. I think I'm mistyping some of these things, but this Wade is, especially with Evo, an absolute dog. Comes with a 90 shot 3, Hall of Fame sniper, Hall of Fame fearless finisher, slippery finisher, rest, fast twitch, downhill, quick first step, clamps, tireless defender, really good defensive stats and badges all the way around. And yeah, even got an offensive rebound, which is nice. Jump shot is the same as 98. It's not as great as it has been in previous years, but it's still a super solid jumper, super solid and smooth to green as well. And yeah, SIGs wise, he's not great, but again, not terrible. And I think he overall is a super solid talent and deserves to be in the C tier. And then finally, we have our final A tier guy of the day, and that is going to be Mr. Donovan Mitchell. And I know people are not going to be a huge fan of me taking out Donovan. How do you... Donovan. There we go. I couldn't figure out how to spell his name, but yeah, a lot of people are going to be kind of annoyed at me for my placement of some of these players, but that's okay because it's my opinion. 99 offense, 94 defense, 6'1" with a 6'10" wingspan. So he's got elite wingspan, but not elite height. 4 out of 5 hotspots outside the 3-point line, 15 hops, including a bunch of finishing ones. Catch, deadeye, mismatch expert, downhill, quick first step, ankle breaker, clamps, and pogo stick. Badge wise, all the way around here besides rim protector, he's pretty much set, as well as chef. And then the interior is really solid. Badge wise, one of the most complete cards in the game. Really good block, great perimeter. 98 driving dunk is elite, 94 shot 3, really good, 97 speed excel, and 96 speed of ball as well. So overall, an absolute monster of a card. I think Gary is one of the better point guards in the game. But when you have a guy like Dwayne Wade, Larry Hughes, Penny Hardaway, LaMelo Ball, etc. competing against him, it does make it a little bit harder to say that about the top tier of the point guard position in total, and it makes it hard to put guys like Donovan Mitchell, who we just talked about, Bob Sura, John Morant, Magic, Steph, etc. in that top tier when we have a lot of really good top end point guards and so much balance as well at the point guard position. That is one other thing I will say about this tier list, especially at the top. A lot of what I say is opinion. There are people who are going to love guys like Kyrie Irving, Baron Davis, Allen Iverson, etc., Damian Lillard, who do have their flaws but can be used if used effectively at a solidly high level and still have a lot of success with. And then guys in A tier, there'll be people who think they deserve to be an S tier, and I personally don't. But that's kind of the beauty of this game, especially at the point guard position right now, is how well balanced it is, and the fact that you can run guys who you want and have success with them if you are a good player. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. I know a lot of talking by me, but I have a lot of information to give out, so I try to give it out as much as possible and keep the videos from being overly long. But if you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.